Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So I'll quickly show you the metallic swipe I did. So this is all dried now. Don't know how well you can see the metallics shimmering on this, but really love these colors together. They worked out so well. So I'm really happy with this because it's also it's one that I think will suit quite a few rooms. It's not too color specific, so that's that. And it's dry, but I just leave it a bit longer before I start putting it away and figuring out. I gotta let it cure before I varnish it. All right. Oh, where have I put my gold one? This was the one I was going to show you too. The silver, emerald and gold. Again, I don't know how shimmery you guys can see on camera, how shimmery this is. Mostly all this heavier gold is, and this green over here. There's shimmer in it all over, but they're the real strong parts. But again, this is I think it's mostly dry. Yeah, it's dry. So really liking this as well. So I think they turned out quite well, both of these. Just in case you were wondering what they look like now they're dry. So tonight I wanted to do something that is fun. Like, I have fun with every painting that I do, but there's some that are just extra fun to do. And an extra fun one to do is infinity pour. Infinity pour is when you get two cups, put different colors in either of them, and then as you tilt, you spin around like this and kind of do not really figure eights, but circles. So what happens is the paint from this cup and this cup go on, but then they overlap each other, so it kind of gives you nice dimensions. The paints need to be a little bit thinner when you do an infinity pour, but that also means one important thing: your canvas must be level. If you tap the edges and there's a little rock in it, get a different canvas, or some of these you can twist a little bit to get them even, but just use a different canvas. Infinity pours need something really level, and same with your table. Your table, or where you have it to dry, has to be level, otherwise it will just run off one side. So we have our two cups that we are going to pour from. Put one over there for now. I am using, one side is going to be magenta and pink. The other side is going to be cerulean blue and turquoise. And then I will be putting black, white and silver in both sides. So the best way to do this is you put the color you're not going to do straight away off to the side. Actually, I'm going to put them over there. I'm going to put all the colours I need here. Now, before you use any of them, I've had them mixed up about an hour now. Just give them a quick little stir. Sometimes they settle and thicken up a little bit. So with these, I have mixed up the two blues, the two pinks and the silver. Both have 22 grams paint. I'm pretty sure it's 38. 22 grams paint, 38 grams Australian floetrol, but I think you could use any floetrol. And 15, actually, I'm going to change that. I only put in 13 grams of water. Then with the black and the white, I did 11 grams paint, 19 grams floetrol and 7 grams water. So apart from the black and the white, the silver was a little bit thicker too, but the two blues and two pinks were actually, they're my thinnest colors for some reason. They always come out a little bit thin. So instead of my normal 15 grams water, I only put in 13 grams. So it's not a lot different, but hopefully it's enough to just make a slight difference. Okay, so we get our cup. I usually always put the transparent in first. The only difference is both blues are opaque, so I don't have a transparent in them. So what you do is you just put a bit in. Then maybe we'll put some silver in, eh? Just put a chunk of silver in. Then a chunk of pink. Then a bit of black. Maybe a little bit more. More pink. Or magenta. And a bit of white. Keep the black and the white, don't put them in together. You just don't want too much grey. And you pour them in like a dirty pour. You put them in heavy. So they're a bit watery, so it's actually easier to do. But you want them to sink into each other and kind of blend to a degree. They're not going to blend completely perfect, but they will blend. Okay, now we're going to chuck in a little bit more silver. And then, yeah, I think I've used the other parts. Oops, that's right, put it up high. So the objective of blending it is it kind of makes it a bit more dynamic instead of it being too rigid like a layered flip cup or something. You kind of really want the colours to mix in and blend a little bit. So I'm going to move that blue to there. Don't know if you can see, but see how the black's kind of selling a little bit on top. This Mont black, I find it behaves very differently to my Heraldo di Polo black. I'm not 100% sure I like it. It's just a little bit different for me. So now we go the blue, the chunk of silver, then the turquoise. And as you can see, I'm just dumping them in. Dump the black in. I usually try and put all the black in one spot, like only do it, pour the black in once or the white in once, because you don't want it to be too spread out all over and take over, but you do want it in there at the same point. Let's go a bit more blue. Now, the black's sitting on top, which means this white is going to mix with it a little bit, but I can't help that. Now, chunk of this one. Then we're going to go the rest of the silver. So infinity pours are actually pretty quick pours too. There's not a lot to them. It's just a matter of chucking all this paint in the cups in different layers. Just making it exciting. And as you can see, with putting the paint in the cup, you can actually rush it a little bit on this one if you're strapped for time. Just chucking it all in, really. That's all we're doing. And you don't have to scrape your cups out as thorough as I do. I'm a little bit pedantic. If you haven't picked that up in my videos, I am happy to admit I'm a bit pedantic. So I get set in my ways. Alright, so I'm just moving all those cups out of my way. So there we go, our 2 cups. There's slightly more full in the pink, which means I must have put more silver, black and white slightly in that cup. It's the only way it can be more full. Now, put your gloves on before you start tipping with these ones, because the paint's thin and it will want to move quite quickly. So make sure you've got whatever you need close by. I always put holes in these. So yeah, pulling it on because they're quite tight fitting, but I don't like the large gloves because they're too loose. So keep your, where are we? Keep your blowtorch or heat gun close by and handy because you will need it. I'm just going to place mine there. I got my torch. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm used to doing these now, so I don't need to practice so much. But if you're unsure, pretend you're holding your 2 cups and start doing your spin like this. Just get your brain used to doing that action, because some people can find it difficult, and because that's really what you're doing, is you're kind of spinning the paint in two different circles. I am going to pinch my cups a little bit because I want this to come out more in a spout than full on pouring it out. And here we go. Okay, that's enough. There's always a little bit of paint left in these cups, but I can't do much. See how it's starting to go over the edge? So you gotta kind of start getting moving pretty early on. So let's tilt it. And because it's got water in it, as well as floetrol and paint, it will be quite fluid. So it's gonna move really quickly. So we get close to an edge and go over. Come back to the middle. Come close to an edge, go over, come back to the middle. Close to an edge, go over and back. Last one, close to the edge, over and back. Now, because it is fluid, now look at your picture and work out, is there any corner you don't want? Is there any part of this you are not as happy with, or you like less than the others? I'm thinking whether I should take off some of that bottom part. So the problem is with this one, the bottom and the top look a little bit different. So I'm trying to work out which one do I want to keep. The one that's got the black little pearls everywhere. Or, see, I love this up the top. Very galaxy-like. But then you don't have to take any of it off. You can just keep it. I'm just going to move it around a little bit and see if there is anything that's going to develop or change. Because these paints do change a bit when they rub over each other. Brings up some effects. It's probably looking a little bit more better. Maybe just take off a little bit of this dark corner. How was that? No, I'm not going to take off anymore because it is going to start stretching the paints. Alrighty, so I'm just going to double check my corner. So that corner was missing a little bit of pink, so I'm putting a pink finger on that corner. This corner's got blue on it, so I want to touch that up with blue. This side just kind of got very grey fingers on this hand. And does that need, yeah, that needs something. Let's just go a little bit on that bottom because I don't want to change that blue. So always just check the bottom of your corners before you take your gloves off. I'm just running my finger underneath to take off those excess drips without putting your fingers into the canvas or dripping any paint into the canvas. Okay, getting my gloves off before I spill and make a mess. Making a mess of myself is what I'm doing. Okay, so 2 things that have to happen with infinity pours. They are a little bit like pearl pours and cloud pours. They need time. More effects develop, the more it sits and rests. So I'm going to blowtorch it. I really hate using a new gas bottle with my blowtorch. That's why. It turns into a madman. Okay. I've turned you off. Stop. Yeah, when I use a new gas bottle, it really, I don't like it. I wish I could buy, for the same price, a half-filled gas bottle than a full one, because I just don't like the way it behaves. Okay, so now all we have to do is just let this do its little thing, settle in, and sometimes more effects come up, sometimes they do not. So there's not a lot of silver. The silver's kind of blended in there. I can see it in there, but it's not really going to do a lot. As you can see, I used half the amount of paint compared to any other color, and of black, sorry. And there's a fair bit of black showing up, but I do find marte black can do that. I was thinking whether I should use a different brand black, but I thought, no, I'll continue with it and see how it goes, because I might do another one using the other brand and see what actually shows up there. But these are really fun. They're probably one of the most funnest pours to do, because you just go a little bit crazy and see what happens. So we will pause it and come back. I don't think a lot more is going to change, but it's worth giving it a chance. So I am pausing it and I'll be back soon. Okay, so I left it for a bit. I don't think a lot has changed with this canvas. I scraped the bottom and periodically check. If it looks like it's dripping off one side, you may need to just... because I do mine on these trays, I can just put a pop stick underneath the tray and just prop it up that little bit. So just to prevent, because these will move. If you allow them to, this whole thing will run off that way, and this line will be over here by the morning if you keep letting it drip. So watch where the paint is coming off. If you are worried about that, you could possibly try doing it with less water and making it a little bit of a thicker mixture. But the water does actually give you effects in there. It kind of creates these like little cells and little bubbles and things. So it is a good idea to keep some in there. Doesn't have to be all, but. So I'll bring you down for some close-ups because I think this is done. Okay, so here we go. It's turned out a little bit different to some of... Infinity pours come out really different a lot of the time. Some come out very galaxy-like. Like this top half is more galaxy style. But then this bottom half is a little bit different again. And my camera's not picking up the colours properly. But I love this like pink vein that runs through it with little lightning bolts that come off of it. Yeah, not getting the colours correct, but that's really awesome. And see how you've got the blues and then the pinks, and they kind of overlap each other a little bit, and then you get little specks See here how the colours are overlapping and going above and underneath. That's what the infinity pour does. And see here, you've got this really cool pink, like little ribbon that runs through the blues. You've got these little bubble effects everywhere. Kind of like little mini cells, but all different. Down here, you can definitely see some silver there. But look, even the colours have mixed and made some purples. These are really, really fun to do. This is a good one to do if you want to do artwork with the kids, because I think that they would just love it because it looks fun, so they will think it's fun. Well, it is fun. And I had some spare paint left in my cup, so I just decided to make a coaster. Yeah, it's not absolutely beautiful, but it's a coaster. I'm just going to be covering it half the time with my drink, but I just thought, oh well, let's just try one out and see how it goes. But this has got some pretty cool effects coming up in it too. You see all these cool cells everywhere? I literally just poured the paint onto it and then just blew on it, so then it would go over the edges of go down the edges, so they weren't plain grey. And then that's it. But yeah, so this is my infinity pour. I hope you did enjoy that. But yeah, when I do a different brand, I get less black. So test out your brands. If one brand does something and you go, you don't like that, try another brand or adjust your thickness of your paints a little bit and see how it goes. But yeah, I hope you like this. So like, share, subscribe, and comment. Sorry, I did that in my wrong order. It's all right. You know what I mean. Have fun, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for another pour. All right, good night. Bye.